Hello guys, the whole world is shocked and Ukrainians aren't surprised at all. Yes, I'm speaking about Trump-Putin meeting in Alaska, which was more like a celebration of Vladimir Putin for all the war crimes he committed in Ukraine and not just in Ukraine. To tell you the truth, we did not expect anything positive coming out of that, but it was really difficult to imagine a lot of elements of this ceremony that are now on the full display and I'm sure make Russians, Chinese laughing from Donald Trump. Because my dear American friends, and I know many of you are watching and waiting for our comments, we know there is a huge difference between some politicians and people who represent brave democratic nation. So I'm sending hugs to all of those who are worried, and trust me, we have a lot of reasons. We don't know what to expect on Monday meeting between Zelensky and Trump. I hope that the EU leaders will demonstrate their strong stance on the need to defeat the evil, especially when Putin is at his weakest. So let's discuss what happened in Alaska and why many consider it the biggest disgrace of the 21st century. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, and if you want to see the defeat and demilitarization of Russia that is real, that has already started, and even Donald Trump won't be able to save Putin from his fall, subscribe, share these videos. More than ever, we need your support. You know, yesterday I had a lot of emotions and I literally did not know how to express them properly, and also following the rules of YouTube so that more people can know the truth. So I have decided to, speak about the whole situation chronologically. And number one, Lavrov arriving to Alaska wearing a sweater with the USSR inscription. Isn't that insane? And also a very beautiful counter-argument to those supporters of Russia who claim Putin does not want to rebuild the USSR. This is just a stupid Ukrainian saying crazy things. No, it's on display on the so-called Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Russian Federation when he steps on the American soil after 3.5 years of unprovoked war in Ukraine. This is extremely disgusting and the demonstration of Russian mockery of the American people. I don't know why it's okay for Trump and J.D. Vance, who kept mocking President Zelensky during their first meeting in the Oval Office, because Zelensky, a president of a country that defends, democratic values and freedom, was not wearing a suit during a full-time war. But Lavrov coming with a USSR sweater was totally okay. But let's forget about, sweaters. We do have a way better collection which can help you be Ukrainian ambassadors. Check the link. But another disgusting moment of that show in Alaska was actually the way Trump anticipated the meeting with the Kremlin dictator, and they rolled a red carpet. Some will say it's a part of respect, diplomatic protocol. No, you don't need to demonstrate respect to a war criminal. The only excuse could be like you are pressuring Putin. I don't know, it's a super working meeting. It does not have any ceremonial preparations, and a frightened Putin is waiting for his fate to be decided by once the largest and the strongest democracy in the world. But we witnessed just the country, we witnessed Trump, super excited, me before meeting Taylor Swift, with one very big difference. Putin is a well-known war criminal responsible for deaths of lots of innocent people, for the unprovoked war, for stealing Ukrainian children, and literally everybody knows about that. So partially I disagree when Ukraine is compared to Czechoslovakia in 1938 because you have seen enough already, and such a move from the United States is a disgrace, nothing else. What we've seen is this red Ukrainian blood-soaked carpet, and what was also Very difficult to watch, and I'm sure difficult for you too. By the way, let me know in the comments below. American soldiers wearing their serving uniform, fixing that carpet for the biggest war criminal to step on it. And all the Russian internet is full of memes demonstrating this difference between the US Army in the movies and the US Army in reality, rolling the red carpet for their dictator Putin. Subscribe to demonstrate your solidarity with Ukraine. Trust me, we need that a lot. And it's super difficult to be shelled by missiles on a daily basis and to be betrayed by your number one friends. I know it's hard for you too, so another reason for us to remain united and also to help Ukraine become stronger. I'm honored to introduce you to our new ground robots. This is an innovation that substitutes Ukrainian infantry in the most difficult parts of the front line, and this is the war of the 21st century, something Trump has never heard about. This is a new initiative of United 24 to fundraise and get more of such robots for logistics, evacuation, and other important missions. And anytime we can save more Ukrainian soldiers and substitute them with robots is a victory. So if you feel a little bit angry at what happened yesterday in Alaska, the best way to do it the Ukrainian way, we always transform our fury, our anger into donation. Support this fundraiser, and following the link you can actually learn more about these beautiful robots that are already fighting for Ukraine. So all this humiliation was really difficult to watch. And after that carpet, we've seen President Trump super excited and literally clapping hands when he saw Putin coming in his direction. Let me know, would you like a separate video about the potential double of Putin? I know this may sound weird, but dictators often have them. I had a video on the channel previously, but a lot of experts, both in Ukraine and outside Ukraine, especially taking into account very inadequate behavior of the so-called President Putin, think it was a double. I can record a video, let me know in the comments below. But Trump clapped when he saw Putin. After knowing how Putin destroyed a cancer hospital, destroyed a Kakhovka dam, killed so many Ukrainian children, stole thousands of Ukrainian children, and literally commits crimes on a daily basis. Once again, those super Trump supporters, even if you say that's the only way to negotiate or bring lasting peace, no. You don't need to demonstrate respect to the Kremlin dictator. It is a degradation. Can you imagine any of the American presidents doing something similar, especially after these 3.5 years of war that you literally observed online? Then the whole conversation between Trump and Putin was a disgrace because Putin did everything he wanted. He actually started the conversation first, which is breaking the protocol. He did not let Trump have his hand up, as Trump loves during the handshakes. But Trump was so excited. His face was smiling. Compare his behavior with Putin, a known war criminal, a dictator of 26 years, a person who destroyed all of his opponents, actually not destroyed, but killed. So like, I have no doubt that Putin is one of the worst people living on this planet. And you, dear friends who still support Trump, do you think it's okay to be so excited seeing him? And Putin used that. Putin played Trump. Putin manipulated him, and all the Russian internet, and I'm sure Chinese and many more regimes, including Iranian and North Korean, are right now laughing at Donald Trump. And you know, at the end of that so-called press conference, I actually had the feeling that Trump understood that, but he will mask it. He will try to pretend that everything went according to the plan because he has too many failures during this months of his second presidency. Please like, share these videos. That's the best way to demonstrate your solidarity with Ukraine and help us fight Russia. That's important. So Putin spoke first. He did not give enough time for Trump. No deal reached at all. Putin denied a ceasefire, and that was the main thing Trump kept repeating about. That was the idea of Trump, and that is a logical step in any negotiations during any wars. But Putin keeps saying he wants an agreement according to which Ukraine capitulates, being way stronger than we were back in 2022. So there are literally no reasons for us to give up, apart from now Trump siding with Putin and pushing together with Russia the brave Ukrainian people together with your eternal allies in Europe to capitulate and let Russia do what it wants, and inspiring other authoritarian regimes to do whatever they want with the United States, with Europe, because now Trump is on the side of, and once again, he cannot be fully on the side of Russia because Russia is very anti-American and China will not accept him. So I can see a new alliance between Russia, China, Iran, but the United States will break up with all of its friends in Europe and will have nothing. We'll have literally nothing. So people of the United States, save yourselves. It's dangerous. And once again, here in Ukraine, we are not surprised. We knew it was coming. We saw that. We kept speaking about that. It's really difficult for me as a YouTuber who wants to inform you about the situation in Ukraine and who understands that I don't have a right to judge your choice. I don't have a right to speak much about the US politics because that's your life. I have to speak about my life. My responsibility is my country. But it's so bad when all this beautiful history, all these beautiful democratic traditions, all this leadership is ruined by men, and here I mean both Trump and Putin, who won't be around in 10 or 20 years. Don't let them destroy centuries of America's success. And Trump literally failed everything he wanted. Putin did not negotiate with him at all. He did not agree on ceasefire. They did not discuss anything. Putin kept speaking about the things he wanted from the very beginning of this war, but now Putin is the weakest ever. Dozens of Russian regions are a war zone. The economy is collapsing. Russia is a no-fly zone. There is a risk of coup around Putin, and Trump wants to save him like that. Can you imagine, like superhero, but in a Trump format? It looks very weird. Once again, I'm trying to be polite. And literally nothing could have saved Putin but Trump. And it's so weird to watch how Trump later speaks with Fox News, I believe, saying that Vladimir told me about the elections. Vladimir, who is the president of Russia for 25 years, teaches your American president about the elections. Don't you think it's a worrisome symptom? And it's pretty obvious what Trump will do. He will push Russian narratives and he will blame Ukraine for defending itself too effectively, stating like, you have to give up because Russia is big. Can you imagine like any one of the US presidents saying it before, or especially in times of the Soviet Union? Soviet Union collapsed no matter how hard its leaders tried to pretend it's invincible. The same will happen with Russia. And I don't want a similar fate for the United States. It was truly painful to watch what was happening. I want to read your comments. I need your comments. They help me remain sane and confident that this planet can be saved. I would like to know, what do you think will happen on Monday when President Zelensky has to travel to the White House and Haven't you been surprised, like all the world leaders, friends of the United States, from France, from Great Britain, were made to sit in that Oval Office, constantly humiliated by J.D. Vance, by Donald Trump. It was already like a new show format. And nothing like that for Vladimir, the bloodiest war criminal, the Kremlin dictator. American soldiers rolling the red carpet in front of Putin. Putin received a great victory. Do you know what was the only reason for Putin to travel to Alaska? To demonstrate his disrespect to the White House, to show that he is the boss. His minister wearing the USSR sweater. Then to take photo with Trump, because that breaks his diplomatic isolation. And Trump was so primitive not to understand that people, political leaders, did not meet Putin, not because Putin disagreed, but because nobody wanted to stand next to this bloody criminal. And Trump made American soldiers, I wonder how veterans feel about that, roll the red carpet in front of the Kremlin goblin. It's sickening. It's sickening. And it will go down in history. I don't know, maybe that's the worst diplomatic failure, mildly speaking, of the White House. And I feel sorry for people who have to experience that. Of course, it's bad for Ukraine, it's bad for Europe, it's bad for the world. It's bad that one person, a group of people, can ruin all of the achievements, undermine the success of the Ukrainian army, and glorify a bloody Botox. Like literally, have you seen him? And most likely that's a double. That's even a double. There are no adults, just Ukraine, and I hope we will see some leadership coming from the European Union, because that is a decisive moment in history. And actually, we need to defeat Russia now, not just for the sake of Ukraine, not just for the sake of Europe, but also for the sake of the American people, so that Trump does not destroy everything. And after his term is over, you can take the situation back. I love you. I need your virtual hugs. Please leave your comments. I will be reading them. What are your thoughts? What can we expect in the days to come? I know Putin will keep targeting us, negotiating with Trump, and Trump will say that Ukraine is to blame for defending itself too effectively against a very strong Russia, when in reality, remember this, know this, Russia is the weakest ever. And it is a great sin not to defeat it once and forever, and to teach it a lesson that empires do not survive in the 21st century. And I know we can do it. Follow me on X, on Blue Sky, on Threads, on Instagram. That's super important. Join our Discord community. Check the merch shop. Lots of good items that will help you work as the Ukrainian ambassador literally in every corner of the world. I like it how one Ukrainian deputy describes this as t-shirt diplomacy. It works. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channel, and do check my new video on my channel, Anna Danilchuk, where I tell a little bit more about the Piers Morgan Uncensored show, how I felt, how it's like in general. So if you're interested, subscribe to that channel and check the new video. And remember, we need your support here in Ukraine, and you need us to win this war too. United we stand. Slava Ukraini!